coming up. Hmm. Okay, so let me just let me share the link on the WhatsApp group. All right, so yeah, okay. So let me just share my screen. So mm, okay, so just confirm you can see my screen. Morning, everyone, once again. Can anyone just confirm you can see my screen? So we
Yes, we can see your screen.
okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so let me put on my video for a moment. All right, so welcome to this webinar. This is the second webinar in the series of webinars that would be having for the WTech Hub Web Development Internship. This is actually the second cohort. Yeah, so we just get in. I'm the presenter. I'm also the host. If you're young, I'll get to introduce myself as we go through the webinar. Okay, so introduction. So this is about me. I'm a full stack developer at KBL Technologies, and I have skills, such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, TypeScript, Tailwind CSS, Git and GitHub, API integration, MongoDB. DB stands for database, PostgreSQL, MySQL, Node.js, ExpressJS, SQLite, Mongoose, Docker. Oh, okay. TypeScript, I repeated it here. Next.js, REST API, TypeORM, WordPress, cPanel, web hosting, right? So, full stack developer, that's build both front end and back end web development or websites, right? Or web applications. Okay, so let's move. So what's our vision, right? So our vision is to empower 5,000 young people to be self-employed and um, employers of labor with high-valued web development skills, thereby setting them up for higher aspirations in their tech career by 2029. So as we all know that the labor market is choked up, right? We have a lot of graduates coming out, unemployment rate very high in different countries, Africa, Nigeria, and all of that. So we are coming to actually bridge this gap, right? Because we understand that if you get started at the point where you are able to at least be self-employed with the relevant skills, be empowered with the relevant skills and be self-employed, that can actually set you up for higher aspirations in the tech industry, right? So you want to go into artificial intelligence, you want to go into um, maybe web development using technologies like React, Angular, maybe working on backends like using Python, right? Even Node.js, Java, and the rest. It can actually empower you for greater things in the programming field, right? So, but we want to start with what WordPress development, like developing websites using WordPress, right? Because that's from WordPress development up until hosting, right? Connecting it to a domain name, um, creating business emails for your clients. We also have the business part of web development. So we looked at it to bring up this comprehensive curriculum because at the end of this exercise or these classes or this training, you should be able to, or you will be able to have the skills, right? Entrepreneurial skills you are going to have because we'll show you how to make money as a web developer, right? And also the platforms you could use to get clients, right? So we are going to teach you how to develop the website, right? So develop website using various templates, plugins, and the rest. Then at the end, hosting, right? Because you need to be able to manage, you need to be able to host what you have created and be able to also manage it, right? We also show you how to get a domain name, connect your domain name to your website so that, people all around the globe can be able to see it when they enter your URL on their browsers, right? So that's actually the plan. So the plan is not to finish this training and go looking for job, right? Though I saw people ask questions, will we have job opportunities after the training? So just to give you that orientation, that the purpose of this class is not to finish and go and start looking for a job, is to finish and become self-employed and also employ others. Because when you become self-employed, you would actually your vision, your perspective increase and expand, and you will begin to do some other things. And so, for example, say you are maybe you are done with the training, you got a client, maybe a client gave you a job to say, okay, I need a blog, right? I need a blog. And from there, of course, you need writers, you need content creators. So you might not do the whole thing. There are people that specialize in content creation, right? So yours could just be you build the website, you set it up, and depending on how massive the blog websites, your client wants the blog website to be, you can get writers. There are writers that write per article, they are being paid and all of that. So you can get writers to write for you and contribute to that blog website. And so by so doing, you've not only gotten self-employment for yourself, you have actually brought in others, which are the writers, and you've empowered them, right? So it's something that has a triple effect at the end of the day. It's something that you won't need to work alone because you would be able to get when you have the skills and you're able to negotiate with your clients, right? So it can actually lead to you getting other hands to support you in your journey, right? So it's something that is very lucrative, and it's something that I think everyone should look forward to putting in his best to be able to come out successful in this internship. So how is the internship going to go? We are looking at the structure of the internship. So the internship is actually in two parts, right? The first part is a free 1 month internship. And that's what we've advertised on our flyer. You would see it, free 1 month internship beginning on the 14th of September to 14th of October, free. You aren't paying anything. However, we'd like people to, we'd like people on the call and every other person to just continue to share the links, share the flyers for others to, get to join this free 1 month internship, right? So the second part is the paid advanced master class, and that one is going to last for 3 months. And let me just say something at this point. If you want to really achieve something in life, right, you need to put in the work. That consistency has to be there. That determination has to be there. That this is what exactly you want to achieve, right? And you need to give yourself a timeline. So say you enroll in this training. Training is 4 months in total. That's the first free 1 month plus the remaining 3 months, right? So you just need to commit yourself. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take commitment. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take resources, right? But it's something you should be prepared for. Why? Because the benefit you are going to reap at the end of this training, and as you continue to apply yourself to these skills, it would be far more, right? You would reap far more greater. In fact, at the end of the day, you would be happy that you're able to, stake or risk what's, risks your time, risks your money, risks your data, staying online, learning more and all of that. At the end of the day, it's going to be worth it, because when you start charging your clients, people start paying you. I mean, you get to see the reward for your skill, and that just it makes you to fly, right? And from there, you can, develop more business strategies and all of that, getting more clients and the rest. I'm actually going to show you as we proceed how it really works, right? So what will you learn in the part A of the internship? So like I said, the part A is the free 1 month internship, starting 14th of September. So what are you going to learn? We have web development with HTML and CSS, right? We have domain name and web hosting, because at the end of the day, you are going to come up with a live project, as you can see here. We have live projects, which is going to be a tribute page. It's a single page application, right? That you just create. Then definitely I'm going to show you how to host it. So when you create the tribute page, right? I'm going to show you how to host it, just like a drag and drop, right? You just drag, you drop, and before you know it, your website is live. And you're able to, you can share the link or the URL with your friends, your sponsors or whatever, to say, oh, this is what I've been able to achieve at the end of the class, right? So we're also going to have introduction to WordPress, um, which will dive deeper in the part B of the internship, right? So we have portfolio building. So when I say portfolio building, it's more like, creating a digital footprint for yourself on your different social media accounts, right? So that at the end of the day, there would be something like a track record of, where you started, how you are moving, and all of that. So all those things also add to your credibility, right? When you get to start advertising yourself to say, oh, you are a web developer or you are a web designer or whatever, right? So yeah, so that's that. So what do you need for the class? What do you need for the class? You actually need a laptop, power source, internet connectivity, full participation. So I've talked about this full participation, and prudent time management and consistency. It's going to require your time and, commitment, consistency. So you need to just prepare your mind and understand that this is what you are into and this is what you want to achieve. Because at the end of the day, what I'm looking at is anybody who attends this class should be set up for success by year 2025. This is 2024. And this class is going to last from now till the end of the year, December 2024. So I want to launch people by 2025, at least January 2025. You should already start trying something and start looking for clients, right? So, and beyond the classes, right, I'm also here for mentorship. Mentorship is also part of what you would get at the end of this training. So I'm available for mentorship. Of course, starting out, trying out your hand to see what you can build and all of that. You don't have sufficient confidence, or maybe as you are working, you get stuck. Of course, I'm here, right? Here to put you through, here to mentor you, here to say, oh, okay, do it like this and all of that. So that mentorship is there. It's what you will get even, after the internship or after the free internship and the advanced master class, right? So I'm here. It's more like a community, as you can see. For those coming from the WhatsApp group, you would see that community. You would see people, and so it's a community of supports, right? At the end of the day, we support each other to make progress. Okay. So the class schedule for the part A, still talking about part A, that's the free 1 month internship. So we'll have Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So you are going to commit 8 hours in total, right? 8 hours per week for this training. 8 hours per week. So Tuesdays 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. West African time. That's 1800 hours to 2000 hours. You also have Wednesdays 2 hours 6 to 8 p.m. Fridays 6 to 8 p.m. Then we have Saturdays 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. West African time. So 8 hours in total. If we need to achieve all we have said we would achieve for the 1 month, then we need to commit minimum of 8 hours into this learning or this training session so that we'll be able to achieve what we are required to achieve. Okay. So assessments. So just to have some level of accountability so that it boosts your morale or motivation, right, in going through the training. So after each class, you'll be required to write what you learned. Of course, an image, when you're writing maybe a post on your social media page or whatever, if you always adding an image always, makes your post more engaging. And of course, you can tag, do a lot of hashtags to make your post go viral, to trend, and, to also attract people that you want to be attracted to that post, right? So you do that on your social media pages. You hashtag WTechHub. That's especially on LinkedIn, right? You hashtag WTechHub, then you submit the link on a Google form. You're going to provide a Google form link. So at the end of every class, or at the end of, every class, you'd be able to make that submission, right? So we'll be able to see what you have done. We'll go through it and, be able to check up to see those that are really on top gear, following us in the class, right? So in the master class, so let me just say that the master class for me, it's the very is in fact is the most interesting part of this internship, right? So because from the master class, you're going to learn a whole lot. A whole lot. So people asked me while going through the questions on the WhatsApp group, I saw questions like, will we have a certificate at the end of this training and all of that. So that is where it is in the master class that you're going to have certificates. Okay, so let me just go through it. We have WordPress development. So remember that in the free 1 month internship, you have introduction to WordPress development. But coming into the master class, we would dive deep into WordPress development. The practical part of it, of course, would look at what the WordPress is. Of course, WordPress is a content management system where you have a lot of things incorporated, just a matter of drag and drop. You're able to get your, website using templates, plugins, and the rest. Yeah, so we're actually going to dive deep into WordPress development. We're also going to talk about with responsive web design and also see it in practice, right? Of course, you'll be given a free domain name, right? You'll be given a free domain name. Domain names are not free. Domain names are being sold, right? So, but you'll be given a free domain name in this masterclass, free web hosting. If you go online to try to check, hosting platforms, you're going to see that they have pricing, right? So would also give you a free web hosting for the masterclass. Also talk about cPanel. You would see it work. In fact, at the end of this class, I'm going to do just a short demo to show you something. Right, free web hosting, cPanel. cPanel is actually that tool or dashboard, right? Or a set of tools where you're able to manage your website, you're able to manage your emails, you're able to manage your domain and all of that. A whole lot you can achieve or you can do with cPanel, right? So we also have unlimited business emails creation at no cost. Okay, so let me just quickly show you something. So let me show you something from here. Zoho, right? So let me show you Zoho's pricing. So Zoho is a platform. Zoho is a platform for creating business emails. So you can create and manage your business emails there. So let me show you something. All right. So can anyone just confirm that you can see that this Zoho website that I'm showing up here?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So let me say Zoho. I want to say Zoho email pricing, right? It says Zoho email pricing. Okay, so I think this is it. Okay, yeah. So this is where I was coming to. So look at this pricing, right? So it says, so what they do, what Zoho does a lot, right? CRM, it also gives you a place where you can manage your emails. You can create your business email. So when I say business email, I just mean, um, let's say maybe XYZ at your domain.com, right? Or at your domain.org, depending on what your domain is, right? So that's a business email, of course. So look at it. It says it gives this three pricings. First one is Mailite, and it's 416 naira. Like this is Nigerian naira, so you can switch it to dollars and see the equivalent in dollars. But let's go to the naira first. Um, Oh, okay. So let's go to the dollar. So let's just see. So you see $1 per user per month, right? And so for 5 gig per user, so 5 gig is just the space for your emails, right? Both your sent items, inbox, that kind of correspondence. Of course, as mails continue to come in and you send out mails, it takes up space, right? So it says 5 gig. So if what you require is 5 gig for one user, so it tells you are going to pay $1. So if you are going to need more space, say 10 gig per user, so you pay $1.25, right? So this for one user, you pay $1. So if you now decide, okay, so this one says mail premium $4, 50 gig mail storage, 50 gig retention storage per user, and all of that. So just to show you their pricing. So if you decide to go back to Naira, you see the Naira equivalent 416 Naira per user. So if you increase the number of users, I think, so definitely, yeah. So if you increase the number of users, of course, you'd be able to multiply this amount. So this is just it. However, if you come to your hosting platform, so your hosting platform gives you this, like the opportunity to create this email for free, right? So you are creating this email for free and it is unlimited depending on the hosting platform you are using. Okay, so let me quickly also still show you something else. Let me show you something. Sorry about this. Let me see. Okay, so let me log into my Namecheap account. So Namecheap is what I use for my hosting. I just want to show you something quickly. Let me just show you something. Okay. So this is my dashboard, right? This is my Namecheap dashboard. I have a couple of domains here that I'm managing. So I have ifyokinyang.online. I have wtechhub.net. I have mygradscholar.com. I have bensmarttech.com. I have Mitaka Trade Africa, though I've transferred this domain out of here, right? It's in another Namecheap account. But these are the domains that I am managing, right? And from here, I can quickly get to, let me see, let me get to my cPanel. Just want to show you something real quick. Okay, so redirecting me to cPanel. Okay, so this is how the cPanel looks like, right? So you have tools here, you have Softaculous apps installer, website builder, right? Namecheap SSL, you can set up a Node.js application, you can set up a Python application, set up Ruby, depending on your programming language and all of that. So these are scripts, right? You can install WordPress. on this on your domain. You are going to choose a domain, you install WordPress on it, Joomla and all of that. A whole lot you can do here. So files, you have the file manager, right? You see your images, all that is used to create your website. You're going to see them, including your codes and everything. So this is just like an overview, right? Just trying to show you. Email. So look at this email. This is the part I talked about, right? So from here, you can, click on this email account and manage. You can create. So do you see, I have some emails here. I have admin@mygradscholar.com, admin@WTechHub, Ben Smartech and all of that. I have a couple of emails here. So all these emails, I created them for free. And you can make it unlimited. So when I say unlimited, I mean, okay, so let me just create one and show you. Create, so it asks you for the domain, right? I have different domains, so it's definitely going to ask you which of the domains do you want to create the email on. So of course you choose that, then your username at the domain.com, then you set a password and you create, right? And it's free. So you can decide optional settings. You can decide to increase, look at it, look at the storage space. So remember at Zoho was telling you, oh, 5 gig, if per user you can get 400 and something there or $1. But storage space here, you can make it unlimited, right? So the user can just continue to use sending his emails and all of that. So you make it unlimited. And at the end of the day, so you can charge because you've already gotten this from your web hosting, right? You've charged your clients for web hosting. So you could equally charge him for creation of business emails, right? So that's why you actually have to make it competitive. Looking at the competitive price, Zoho, what is Zoho offering? So if you are going to charge your clients per email, right? So since you are creating it for free, so Zoho charges one of them for $1. So you could charge yours for like say $0.5 multiplied by the number of emails that the user actually requires. So that might look small, but when you add it to every other thing you'll be charging, of course, you would see what comes out, right? So just needed to show you that. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, so let me just play from current slide. All right. Okay, so unlimited business emails creation at no cost. What you also learn, expert session on Upwork. So like I said, we are preparing you to become, self-employed, or you could call it freelancer. And at the end of the day, gets people to also support you in satisfying your clients, right? So we are going to give you an expert session on Upwork. So I have an Upwork expert. Upwork is just a platform where you sell your skills, right? So you go to Upwork, you say, oh, I'm a WordPress developer. You put your amount, right? You put your amount, say, okay, this is how much I am worth, or this is how much you can get for my services. And from there, you bring up your profile, make it look very presentable and all of that. Then from there, there's a section where you get to see requests, because people would put in requests to say, oh, I need a WordPress developer that would work on this for me and all of that. So you bid, right? You submit proposal and the rest. So I have an Upwork expert who is going to, take us on one of the sessions in the master class. So he's going to break everything down and give you that secret success that secret that you actually need to succeed, right? As a freelancer on Upwork. We also have expert session on SEO. Search engine optimization is actually very critical to web development, of course, because at the end of the day, you want your client's website to be seen on Google. When they do Google search, asking for their site, you want their sites to be crawled by Google to come up. You also want it to show up on Bing, maybe Internet Explorer, Microsoft Bing, and the rest. So there'll be an expert session on search engine optimization, which is also very more important and critical. So also how to sell yourself as a developer, right? So like I said, the purpose of this internship is not to make you go out there, look for job. If you apply yourself and, you stick to what is being taught, you put in the effort, the resources, commitment, and all of that. So at the end of the day, you get the skill. So the next thing is, how do you sell yourself as a developer? These are things we are going to share, the secrets. We share the secret in the master class, right? So we also have building an e-commerce website with payment integration. And because at the end of the day, when you get started, you may want to do your own business, for example, or maybe you want to sell something online, or maybe a client contact you to say, oh, I need an e-commerce website and all of that. Of course, you need to be able to know how to build it, add product and the rest. Then at the end of the day, payment integration, whether you want to integrate with Paystack, you want to integrate with Stripe, you want to integrate with PayPal and the rest. So you're going to learn that practical, right? Everything is practical, of course. Then business part of web development, yeah, I've talked about it. Also, there will be certificates. So someone actually asked, would there be certificates? Yes, there will be certificates at the end of the master class, right? So yeah, so this is really what we have, and for me, I think this is a lifetime changing opportunity for you to be able to have and hone the skill. So it's something that you should take seriously, commit the time, commit the energy, commit the resources, and be able to be at the top. By year 2025, it is 2024, year 2025, you should already start getting clients and building for them, because at the end of the day, you need some extra income. Even though you are on a full-time job, right? You still need some side income. Or maybe you're not on a full-time job, you can use this as a full-time job, right? So it's something very lucrative. And the business part of it, definitely we are going to expose it in the master class. So that's really all about what we have here. So we give opportunities for questions. Yeah. So I think I've talked a lot in the past, how many minutes? Okay. So I'll just give the room for questions. So let's have your questions. So it depends if you want to unmute to ask questions, or you want to put your question in the chat box, um, let me just know.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Joshua. Go ahead.
Please, how much is the master class?
Okay, the master class is 25K. That's 25,000 naira, which is equivalent to $16. That's the price for the master class.
Alright.
Yeah. Okay. So any other questions? The room is silent. I hope we're all here. If you want to ask your question, you could equally put it in the chat box so that I can respond to it. Okay, so another question that came up. So let me just
For
try
somebody,
to.
sorry, sir, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can.
For somebody who is interested in going beyond the 4 months internship, are you open to private mentorship? If someone wants to pay for exclusive private mentorship, are you open for that?
Yeah, of course. I'm open. I'm very much open, right? Private mentorship, one-on-one session. Of course, I'm open. And just to mention, right? So let me just give you, let me say something here. So now there are two parts to web development, right? So it's either you go through the part of, say, let me give you the first part. So the first part is, these are things you need to learn. Let me just tell you. You have HTML, right? CSS, JavaScript, React. You can learn React if you like. React, what's React? React is just a library, right, for spinning out fast user interfaces. So it's actually not a framework. Though some people call it framework, but React is not a framework. It's actually a library. There's React.js. There's also Angular, right? Angular is now a framework. It's a front-end framework. So there is Angular, there is Vue.js, all of these based on JavaScript, right? Then if you're going through this pathway, you would need to learn this. Then you also need to learn Git and GitHub, because you'll be coding from scratch, right? You're going to be coding from scratch. Every single thing you see on the website, you code it from scratch and you will host it. So you're going to push your codes to GitHub to do what? To manage version control. You push your codes to GitHub to manage version control. Then from GitHub, you now host it, right? You now host it. So if you have bought a domain name, you can now link your domain name to the website you have built. Then, depending on the nature of the website, if the website requires a backend, then you're going to need backend skills, or you bring in a backend developer. So that's why we have front-end developer, back-end developer. So a front-end developer will see to everything you have on the user interface, like that the user can see, right? The design, creation of, for example, maybe there's a form to accept responses from people, like creation of that contact form, for example, linking, creating links. Maybe somebody clicks on something and it gets to another page, or it opens up somewhere else and all of that. So a front-end developer does that. Another thing a front-end developer does is that you consume APIs. It's what we call APIs. APIs are application programming interface. That's really what it is. I don't want to go so deep into it, but I'm just trying to give an overview explanation. So a front-end developer will need to know API integration, because at the end of the day, you are going to be working with a back-end developer, right? So what does a back-end developer do? A back-end developer, writes the business logic, and also connects the front-end data to a database, right? So that's what a backend developer does literally. So you're going to be creating routes, you're going to be creating you are going to be creating middlewares, you are going to be doing some kind of security authentication at the back end. You are going to be saving data to the database. You're going to be doing things like hashing. So you hash passwords, because of course when a user puts in his password, it needs to get to the database, but the developer needs to hash the password so that it doesn't appear visible on the database, right? So hashing is another concept which I don't want to go into, right? So you're going to be doing hashing, then you save it to the database. Then at the end of the day, the front-end guy will request for the data, publish it on the website, like publish it on the UI, user interface. And from there, people's history can be saved. When I say history, I mean like you have a dashboard, right? You have a website that requires you to create an account to log in, right? So when you log in, you do something and you stop somewhere. So there is something at the back end that saves your data. It saves your progress, saves your history and the rest. So when you come back in to log in, you just continue from where you stopped. So it was not saved on your browser. It was actually saved in the database. So when you open your browser, those things actually show and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, so this is what I was doing, this way I stopped and all of that. So it actually saves your history also. So so that's a front-end developer, a back-end developer. And so going to web development, if you want to go through that routes, right? You want to go through the React routes, then these are things you need to learn. You need to learn JavaScript and really be good in it to be able to have that confidence. So, but the thing is, when you are done doing this, most likely you would want to, look for jobs. So people that follow this route, actually this route is longer. Yes, because JavaScript, in fact, learning JavaScript alone can take you like a year to be able to learn, master, and be confident. If I just give you a minimum of 1 year. If you have been programming, you understand what I mean. If you have not been programming, you can ask programmers how these things work, right? So for you to be able to write it and be confident, be able to solve algorithms, it's going to take you minimum of a year, right? So if you want to go through that part is equally lucrative. However, if you look at the environment, the software development environment or the web development environment in our context, let's say Nigeria now, looking at Nigeria, although when you learn all these skills, it sets you up to do business all around the world. Your market is not just within Nigeria. However, when you get started, definitely your hands are not strong. So you want to start with an internship. That's if you're following that route. You want to start with an internship, maybe work with companies like, other developers, you people contribute to codes and all of that. That's where you now have Git and GitHub. You'll be able to see about version control and the rest. So, but after that, you can go into higher levels, AWS, and hosting on the cloud servers, managing databases and the rest. So that is actually a long route which you can equally explore. However, the internship we are doing here is to give you are just using WordPress, and WordPress development has greatly improved over the years, and a lot of websites are running. I can assure you, if you check the statistics, a lot of websites on the internet are running on WordPress, right? So WordPress is a content management system where everything is there, more like drag and drop. You could equally edit the code because there are backend codes that are actually powering those interfaces, those designs you are seeing. So you can edit the code, you can add your own HTML. So if you have learned HTML, you can, modify something, add your own HTML to the background code, or you can add your own CSS for the styling and, all of that. So understanding HTML, CSS will actually make it fundamental and help you to be able to push further in your design skills when you start WordPress development, right? So yeah, so that's really what it is. Yeah. Okay. So any other questions? Okay, so if there are no other questions, I think we'll get to stop here. We have another session in the evening, so we'll also drop the link for people to join, right? We'll talk more about the class, we'll talk more about the benefits, we'll talk more about what people stand to gain, because at the end of the day, it's just about empowerment, right? So thank you very much, everyone who made out time to join the class or join the webinar today. We'll see in the evening by 7 p.m. Yeah, that's the time. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Have a nice day. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome.